The first time I left the Hazuki residence and ventured down the picturesque hill to the small bustling town of Dobuita through Sakuragaoka, I was left with the distinct sensation of having moved to a new place for the first time. In an almost overwhelming way, the town seems staggering with bustling activity, people to talk to, stores to explore, alleys to get lost in. By the end of Shenmue's adventure, though, I was left with a completely different sensation. The once overwhelming breadth of town now felt like a comforting place I'd lived in for a very long time. I knew the people, their routines, where every store was, and where the roads led. It felt like home. More than maybe any other game I've played, Shenmue relishes in every opportunity to make you feel a part of the place you inhabit. It finds comfort in the simple and calming mundanities of daily routine, and at basically every point requires that you take your time and enjoy it at its own pace. But Shenmue rewards this methodical approach with a game unlike any other, one that feels alive with the comforts of familiar daily activity and the friendly bonds of community that soars above the sum of its parts.
You've made my day.
Is the restaurant busy?
A little.
Please give my regards to Tao-san.
As Shenmue begins, we're introduced to Ryo Sazuki, whose father has been murdered in cold blood by a man named Lan Di. Lan Di has taken not only the life of Ryo's father, but also a mirror of unknown origin and importance. Ryo vows vengeance for his father, and begins a quest to find the man clad in green robes, no matter the cost. This begins the long process of finding as much information as you can in order to track down the murderer through breadcrumbs of information scavenged throughout Ryo's small town from the people living there. While Ryo will have a handful of physical encounters, most of the game will not involve fighting or heavy action. Instead, most of the time, Ryo will be trying to find new information by pulling on a thread of hints that leads him from one point to the next.
Yes? Oh, Ryo, what's up?
I have something to ask you. Do any foreign sailors drink here?
Sailors?
Gathering this information involves going around town and asking residents what they know, inquiring to find any tidbit that may lead you closer to the truth. In the beginning, Ryo doesn't know much more than to ask about the black car that he saw the night of the murder. Waking up at 8:30 every day, you'll get a fresh start to walk through the town and ask around until someone has a little more to add. All of this information is tracked in Ryo's journal, which hints at whom you should talk to and where. When you begin, this can seem overwhelming with so many people to talk to and so many places to go. But you soon start to get into a groove and create your own routine. I would always start my day by going down the hill to town and talking to the kids who are looking at the toy dispenser, who would ask me to play baseball. I'd always check on an injured cat, giving it food and a pet before heading to town as people unlocked their stores, and I'd make my way to the next destination. There's rarely a feeling that you need to hurry, and likewise, the game will punish you if you do. While fast traveling from the Hazuki residence is an option, everything in town runs on such a tight schedule that it's actively discouraged through the game's design. Even if you show up at a location where you know you'll get the next clue, if you're there early, there's not much to do other than wait. Shenmue encourages the slow, methodical routines that you create, and in doing so, you get to know the town and its people all the better. If you need to check the bar for information, but it isn't open yet, you might as well have a chat with another shopkeeper, pull on a different thread of information, or spend some time playing an arcade game or two while you wait. This is not a game where you can simply breeze your way through. Though that may not be for everyone, it creates a deliberately slow sensation that few other games match, let alone even attempt. Taking a walk and enjoying the scenery, sights, and sounds is just as important as arriving at your destination. Shenmue is not a boring game, but it is slow and encourages you to take a breath and take your time.
I know this. Maybe I should get another.
When you're not chatting with the locals, there are times when Ryo will need to show his martial arts expertise to rough customers and gang members whom he butts heads with. This will either take place through a QuickTime event, where you'll watch a scene unfold and be required to press the correct button when it flashes on screen, or through a physical altercation. Combat itself isn't as polished as other games which are specifically focusing on the depth of their fights, and can often feel like you don't have as much control as you'd like. Sometimes just focusing on simple punches and kicks is more effective than attempting more complicated combos. That being said, learning new moves from other masters around town still holds a sense of awe as they practice with you. It further cements the fact that Shenmue is not a game about fighting, but about the people that you meet and the bonds that you'll share together.
This is how it's done, okay? 2 steps forward then! And second kick! This is the real tornado kick! Now Ryo, you try it, okay?
Shenmue may not be a game for everybody, however it's a game that everyone should at least try. It's possible that without Shenmue, other similar games, and the open world genre of today wouldn't exist as it does. It doesn't focus on fighting as much as its counterparts, nor does it have a map that is dozens of miles wide with side activities to constantly keep you busy. But those differences accentuate what makes Shenmue completely unique to itself. It's full of small, intricate details everywhere, as well as people to get to know in a gentle town. Whether you're driving a forklift for work, having a soda, or chatting with the town's residents, Shenmue is purposefully slow and demands that you take your time to live in this town in the moment. It's a rare example of a game where it's not just an option to solve problems through conversation, but it's entirely how the game operates. Not through violence or puzzle solving, but rather personal interaction, locational familiarity, and personal routine. For those that give it a chance, they'll find that Shenmue rewards them with a heart and sincerity unlike any other game they'll play today. It casts a special sort of spell, and by the end, it's difficult not to be just a little attached to Dobuita and the friends you've made there.
Whoa, the high score! Should I play more? That's enough for now.